Hey, everyone. Hi. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Alison.
Hey now.
Greg, what are you doing here?
Hey, what do you mean? Alison,
Where'd you come from, Greg?
I came from the world of Childish, and I just want to make sure that your listeners know that you're just as wonderful on the other podcast you do.
What if they don't have kids?
Don't need them. You don't need them. A lot of our listeners actually tell us they don't have kids. We talk about sex.
We talk about all sorts of dirty stuff, but also parenting stuff.
Yeah, so.
Check out Childish. New episodes every Wednesday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Maybe I should have tried it next. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison, we'll have the good times never end. Alison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Alison's your new best friend.
Hey, everyone. Hi. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Alison Rosen is your new best friend. I'm sitting here nearly against my will in the house, not in the studio. I am in Daniel and my office, which is like our makeshift studio when we have to record in the house. And I'm sitting here with Daniel, and I've got a head full of steam and a belly full of half-calf. It's 11:06 p.m., and I said, do I dare drink coffee at this time? I do. This is my second cup of half-calf today, bringing my grand total to 3 cups.
1.5 calves.
Wait, how do you get that?
3 half calves.
No, I had 2 full calves.
Oh.
And 2 half calves.
2.5 calves.
Nope, just 3 cups. 3 calves. Hello, Daniel.
No,
Welcome.
this is a half calf.
Yeah, but I had a half calf before.
You had
1?
2 full calves and 2 half calves?
Yes.
Oh.
That's 3 calves.
That's 3 calves.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good. I really think it's a mistake to be doing half calf, but you're doing it for the people, and they should appreciate that.
I hope they do.
Because you're going to be up all night, and then you're going to wonder why you were up all night.
I know. What's the way around this conundrum?
No calf after 10. I mean, it's late.
I mean, I'm just under the wire then. So, listen, I think we should explain why we're in the house. It's not interesting, but that's never been the bar I've set for myself before.
And if you don't tell people who are listening, they'll go crazy wondering
they'll be
why.
Like, where has she planted her supple hiney?
It's like, why would they be in the office? And then rumors will start.
Right.
You know, people will jump on Reddit. It'll become part of the Q conspiracy, and who knows where this takes us.
Is that a reference to you, this Q conspiracy?
That's right. Are you telling the people my secret?
You know what your secret is?
That I'm Q?
No, it's that I'm sitting here, again, in the house, and my bottoms are wet. Because you, and I felt, I did, to be honest, I was like, bitch, move along from the coffee. We're done with the coffee. We don't need to go into coffee. And so then when the next topic I wanted to bring up, which also happened to be coffee, came to my mind, I was like, I can't do it. But I have to. You spilled my coffee all over me because you had a weird freak out. And by the way, I definitely relate to weird freakouts because I have them over like when I was young, I couldn't stand wearing layers, especially if the seams didn't line up. So Bert Kreischer's daughter goes to this is a while ago, went to some like an occupational therapist or something. Like I feel like there's a special kind of therapy that deals with these kinds of issues. And you don't normally have this kind of stuff, but you just did a moment ago. Your chair was hitting resistance and you couldn't figure out where it was coming from because you looked down and you didn't see it. So you were like, ah! And you just like flailed your chair at the table.
I'm sorry. This is a totally misrepresentation of what went down.
And then for the second time, it was the second time you bumped the table. It's a wobbly fucking table. Hence my issues with this whole setup, which we haven't even gotten into why we're doing this here. And it's not that interesting anyway. But again, not my concern. So first you spilled just a little coffee on the table, and then you threw your body via chair at the table, and my microphone fell over, my coffee fell all over me, and it got on the carpet too, and then I had to clean myself up with wet wipes. Mm-hmm. So I'm currently wet. So
I know what you're doing.
What do you
here.
think happened?
You're lying in order to make people to entertain the people, when the reality is much less controversial.
I don't. You make a grave error in thinking that I think this is what entertaining.
Went down.
I just have to tell them.
I tried to pull my seat forward so I was closer to the microphone.
Okay.
And it bumped the table and spilled the coffee. And I was like, what just bumped the table? I'm miles from the table. We have a covering for the table that is covering the tabletop.
Tell them what it is.
It's a large stretchy towel. We're very classy. You got to muffle the sound.
It's not my Brooklyn towels, by the way.
It's just to muffle the the sound. Anyway, the legs of the table are really far from my chair, so it was confusing why it bumped it. I thought I had more room, and so you were just like, okay, fine, and you lifted up. That was exactly how you sounded. You lifted up your coffee and you said, okay, fine, just do what you're going to do.
Yeah.
So I pushed my chair forward, looking down at the table leg, thinking I had a good 16 inches. And it slammed into the table, and then it rocked the table and knocked your microphone over. That was my mad flailing, as you put it. But what happened was, the arm of the chair, which is like curved, the very tip top of it, the tabletop is very thick. And so it bumped the tabletop.
It was obscured by the towel.
It was obscured by the towel. You're not used to tabletops that are this thick and this light. You're looking for something dirty to say.
It's like a flotation device of a table.
It's a weird table is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's all. Innocent mistake. But I was given permission by you. You said,
I
do
had
your
conflated the two. When I said, go ahead, throw your body through the air at the table, you had already spilled my coffee all over me.
No.
Is what you're saying.
No. The first time I knocked the table, there was a little bit of coffee spillage.
Yeah.
You picked up your coffee.
Oh, okay.
And then you said, okay, just do it. Just take care of this right now.
Yeah.
And what happened was that the table knocked the microphone over, and the microphone knocked your coffee, and that's what spilled the coffee in your lap.
But it was because you threw your body at it.
I didn't throw my body at it. I was moving my chair forward.
Well, whatever. That's what I said. Threw your body via your chair. You banged the table, and it Rube Goldberg-esque. And I said Goldberg. So listen, anyone out there who thinks that I think his name is Rube Goldberg.
Tony, cut all this out. God's sake.
How many episodes
For God's
back
sake,
do you
no
want
one
him
cares.
to cut?
What's that?
Like if he's cutting out the boring stuff, how far back is he going?
Look, if I got in a room with Tony, these episodes. If I got in a room with Tony, these episodes would be 5 minutes.
Would I even be in them?
Nope.
Anyway, our childcare is not a sure thing for tomorrow, which is the day we were planning on recording. Hence, we are back to early days of COVID, when we had to take care of our children ourselves, first of all, and we had to
animals.
Yeah, right. It does not come naturally. It's against every instinct you have. And we had to record ourselves at night in the house. Now, and I'm just one more minute on this, and then we're moving on to something else. I believe, and I'm curious what other people think. I believe, and this is not why I'm full of fire right now. It's the half calf doing its work. I feel like we put our kids to bed. We could go to the studio, which is how many feet from the house do you feel like the studio is?
20.
It's about 20 feet from the house. We could go in there and record. They'll sleep through the whole thing. Daniel feels like we can't, when they're asleep in the house, we can't leave the house, which I respect where you're coming from, but I feel like we could do it. But tell me why you think we shouldn't.
if one of them starts crying or something happens in the house, I want to be here and know that it's happening.
Yeah. But I mean, every single other night, they don't start crying in the night at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there occasionally, Owen will cry at night, but it's later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So therefore, I feel like we'd be fine.
Odds are we would be fine.
But
I'm not doing it.
I know. I feel like this is the reason.
Do you remember when some people
be
we
careful.
knew
Yeah, be careful.
went on vacation
Yes.
and they left their baby child, in their hotel room,
Mm-hmm.
and then they went down and had drinks at the bar?
I feel like this is different.
It is not any different.
Yes, it is.
How is it different?
We're 20 feet away.
With 2 doors shut between us, we would never know. We would never hear anything.
We're not going to a bar to drink. We're going 20 feet away to work.
All right.
What if you had a detached garage and you had to go get something from the garage? It's different 'cause it's not an hour and a half. Now, for anyone listening thinking just bring your baby monitor, our monitor doesn't stretch that far. That's
Right.
the issue. If it did, though, would you think it was okay?
Yeah.
Maybe we should just get that.
We could get an internet-based one.
Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like me to, and I'm going to eventually get into both of these,
Okay.
but would you like to hear about my change in philosophy regarding Let It Mellow? Or would you like to hear about how I was listening to an interview with Deborah Feldman, the woman that Unorthodox is based on, which we just watched, and I realized there's ways in which my family culturally is almost like a Hasidic Jewish family.
All right, let's get into the interesting one.
The P.
No.
So I have decided I'm tired of letting it mellow.
Thank the Lord.
I feel like it might be better for the environment, but it's worse for keeping the toilet bowl not disgusting. Oh my God. I know you've been waiting for this day. Do you want to sing? Should we have Tony insert some kind of like magical, like twinkly, like ding?
It's just nice. It's
To
just
what?
nice. It's nice to not always find yellow in the every single time I want to go to the
But it's
bathroom.
always just mellowing.
That's the problem. It's just sitting there mellowing. I get it. It's a water issue. Maybe there's other ways we could conserve water. You know, but there's ways of doing that with the tank and stuff. But like, it doesn't mean you have to flush every single time. But just like, you know, every third time you can. You know what I mean? Because what I'll find in the toilet is it's just
Days worth.
full of toilet paper.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the amount of toilet paper that
I
is
basically
used
can't-
per urination is insane. It's insane.
Especially if you knew what a small amount of urination we're talking
This
about.
is gross conversation.
I don't care.
Um,
Listeners, I love you. When I say I don't care, it's not that I don't respect you. It's that I don't respect myself. It's that I feel that someone's listening to this, like, and they're like, yeah, that's me. I am you. I am you with the toilet paper use.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I can't. I'm not judging. I'm just saying it's always surprising.
I did have a guest who used our toilet and didn't flush. It was just pee, but it was someone I wouldn't expect it of, and that was surprising to me. And I was like, was that an error, or does he think that that's what we do? By the way, you're probably thinking, yeah, because he came upon a bowl full of urine. No, he didn't.
He came upon a bowl of urine. Is that your favorite Christmas carol?
Yes.
Um,
So how are you, Dequance? What's going on in that head of yours?
I'm doing okay. It's been a tough week just because it's been, there's so many projects that I feel like I need to do around the house, just around the house. Forget personal shit. And every day has been so busy with work that I haven't been able to, there will be days like 3 days this week where I wake up, sit at the computer, and like the next time I look up from the computer, it's afternoon. And after a day like that, being on the phone, a conference call, is working, it's like my brain is just in this like hypnotized state and I can't get out of it. So I feel like the answer is like to do some cardio after that to like flush the system. So I'm going to start doing that.
To flush the numbers out of your head? Because
I
you
feel
do
like
spreadsheety. I've gotten a real bird's eye view, more than a bird's eye view, because a bird's eye is like above.
Well, unless
away.
I'm also a bird. A bird's eye view
I've
of
gotten
another
a
bird.
fellow bird's eye view, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are there birds that hover really close to you?
Hummingbirds?
More like a moth.
Penguin.
I've gotten a penguin's eye view of what you do during the day, and you've got multiple screens, and one of them just has like a bunch of spreadsheet cells.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And you just like you stare at it, and then you also mutter to yourself. And I have been so tempted to
you're gonna bring that up, that I mutter to myself?
That's what I'm bringing up right now. Yeah, and I've been so tempted to live tweet your work talk, your conversation that you have with yourself.
It's not a conversation I have with myself. I sometimes will mutter because it helps me. If I'm working on something that requires an intense amount of concentration and I'm trying to keep track of things, sometimes saying the thing out loud helps me keep track of where I am in the thought process. I'm not like having a conversation with myself. I'm not like, so what do you think of this, Daniel? I'm like, yeah, it's cool. I think you got it. I mean, I think if you went over here, you know what? I didn't think of that. Oh yeah. Why don't you go over to this tab and see what's going on? Oh, look at that. You were right. Yeah. Oh, that's working. Thank you, Daniel. Hey, you're welcome, pal.
No, it's not that.
It's not that. It's not a conversation.
It's a like, yeah, I'll fucking show you.
Oh, it is.
There was something where it's
sometimes
like,
I'm
going to prove it. I'm going to prove it. Oh, yeah, it's proven.
Well, sometimes I'll do that because I know you're there listening.
Oh,
yes,
really?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I don't talk to spreadsheets like that unless there's someone there who I know is hearing me. I'll go, come on.
I thought that was legit. I thought you were
Yeah, that's right. I'll go, yeah, that's right, motherfucker.
Yes, yeah. I thought that you really do that.
No.
You played it so realistically. No. So what kind of things do you feel like you say to yourself?
I'll just say, like, sometimes I'll just mutter out loud the thing that I'm trying to keep track of, whatever it happens to be. So I'm not going to recreate in my mind work.
Now, do you think, and here's where it's going to take a turn. We need Tony to put an effect for taking a turn, too. Daniel, do you think part of the reason you have to mutter
You got to give it the respect that this deserves.
Do you think part of the reason you mutter to yourself is because you're doing this super intense work that requires concentration, but you are also watching a podcast at the same time, which I don't know how you possibly do.
I'm mostly listening.
Well,
I'll have it though.
Okay, but if it's a live podcast, you'll have YouTube like open on your phone, and you're listening. And in the words of my therapist, no one can multitask, really.
I can.
No, you can't.
Well, I guess it depends on what you mean by multitask. I mean, can you listen to music and like a lot of the work that I do, the work will be like a period of time that it requires intense concentration, followed by a period of time of just executing the work that I spent the time concentrating.
So do you turn it off when you're concentrating?
Often.
Okay. Well, then I have no issues with the way you work, which is weird because I do.
Oh, well, that's nice. I didn't realize that this was up for your approval, but I'm glad I got it.
Well, you're welcome. It's a win-win all around then, don't you think?
Look at us making it work.
Would you like to hear a voicemail?
Sure.
Hi, Allison. Love your show. I wanted to know your opinion about reselling gifts that you've been given from family members, especially ones that are deemed sentimental by the giver. Right now, I am in a feud with my sister. She found out that I'm trying to sell the wall clock that my parents gave me for my college graduation 7 years ago. I've never liked it. I keep looking at it and I don't know. I just want to sell it, and now she's upset, and if she thinks that if my mom finds out, she's going to be really sad. I don't know. What do you think?
This is interesting.
I think sell it to your sister or give it to your sister. If she has these feelings about it and you don't, then I doubt the
sister will care, because it's all about, for the sister, it's sentimental because they give it to her. Right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying this is a step up from selling it to a stranger.
Well, I mean, it's interesting to me when both sides of this are interesting. People who are overly sentimental about things and people who have no sentimentality about anything.
I happen to be someone who has trouble getting rid of anything.
Oh, God, tell me about it.
I have trouble getting rid of anything. So I am probably the wrong person to ask about this, because my reaction is like, but how would you feel if they died? Or something. Mm-hmm. And I have the reaction in that voice. But I feel like she is pretty clear cut on how she feels about it. So,
but it's also not her decision to make.
No, the one who owns the clock. Yeah, not the sister.
Yeah, it's not the sister. It's not the sister's call. Like, right. I mean, it's kind of weird that the sister would get upset about this. Honestly, like I feel like it's none of her business. So, I mean, I don't know what your relationship with your sister is, but just as someone who doesn't have any like close siblings, that I really grew up with, I can't relate to that. I'm just like, get out of my business. You could, I mean, I don't know. Is it like worth a lot of money? If it's not worth a lot of money, I would just lay low for a while and then sell it on the DL when it's forgotten about. If you have to sell it. Also, you could always just put it up in a garage or somewhere. If the question, I guess, is like, is it important to your parents? Like, do they care? Because if they do care, then maybe hang on to it, and like if they need it to be up somewhere, put it somewhere like that no one will ever see it. But like my grandmother, my stepfather gave her a painting. He was a professional artist, and he gave her a painting, and I don't know what her thinking was. She put it up in the garage, so when she'd pull her car up, she'd see it, and it just made him so angry, because of course it's so undignified. It's such a terrible, like, but also, it gets dirty and stuff. Right. It was just so disrespectful. But she was always like, but I see it when I drive up, and I do not know to this day.
Right, like, was she being passive aggressive?
Yeah, like, right. Like, I think in her mind, she probably did think that was a good place for it.
What was it of?
Tit Mountain.
No, really?
Yeah, it was like a mountain that looked like a big boob.
Are you serious?
I mean, I don't know if that was his intention, but that's how I always thought. But it probably
was, because this is the guy who had the poster of a cat in a jar that said, it was like he did landscapes. Pussy.
He did landscapes, and it was like a peach, like everything was normal desert tones, and then in the middle was this like
nipple.
It was like a hill that looked like a boob.
Is that why she put it out there, do you think?
I doubt she saw it. Who the hell knows, I mean, I was a kid when all this went down. I had no concept of what they understood.
The caller it's an interesting question, because I feel as if I'm supposed to say, yeah, sell it. It's yours. Who cares? It's your life. Live your life. You do you. Like, I feel like I'm wondering if that's what advice columns would say. And yet I feel like it's more okay. If your parents would find out, I think it's more complicated than that. Obviously, you can do whatever you want to do. But is it worth it hurting these people's feelings?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, like, I'm wondering if the sister is saying that because she knows that it would hurt the parents' feelings, or if your sister just has her own standards that the parents don't have. That's kind of important. Because if it's like your parents don't care, then who cares what the sister thinks? You know, I mean, not who cares, but like, it's not really her call here. On the other hand, like you're saying, it's like, is it really so important to sell it right now? Or could you just like, I don't know, you know, just make it a non-issue for a while?
That being said, she's like, I've never liked it. I just keep looking at it. I definitely think you don't need... This is the advice I'm giving you. If you can afford it, because I don't know if you're selling it because you need money, then there's different criteria. But if you can, choose a wall clock you like and go get, or whatever, if you need, wall clock. And go get that and put that up and then figure out later what to do with this one.
Or don't take it down and not put a clock up and say, the reason I don't want it up is because I don't want clocks on the walls and then make up a story about how being constantly reminded of what time it is stresses you out and you're trying to like clear your head.
Oh my God, that's a better idea.
And then it's just like, it's just out of sight and there's an, explanation. And they wouldn't want it up if they knew it was causing you stress.
That's right. On Childish, when Greg...
Or give it to your sister, and now it's sentimental.
That's what I started with.
No, you said sell it. Give it as a gift, and then it's sentimental to her, and now she can't get rid of it by her own logic.
Dun, da, da, da. You have landed upon it. On Childish... When Greg and I give parenting advice, I actually try to give good advice, and I am just so off the cuff all over the place on this show with the advice. We don't normally give advice on this show.
No, we don't, but I'm pretty good at it.
But I feel like we're going to start. That's the thing. We don't normally give advice, but I feel like we're going to start because people are going to hear this and they're going to be like, what more wisdom might they share?
We're just changing lives left and right.
Listen, if you want to call into the show, 323-553-2331. I'm going to give out some other things that they should do right now.
I feel like we have, for the rest of this show, we have the challenge of trying to make up for the first part of the show where we talked about pee. Like, we have a mountain to climb. I think we can do it. A tit
mountain?
Yeah, we have a tit mountain to climb. I think we can do it.
Would you like to hear what some people think about the show in a little segment that I like to call iTunes Comments of the Week?
Mm-hmm.
Alison wants your iTunes comments. Alison wants them, yes she does. Please leave her some iTunes comments and don't forget to click 5 stars.
You guys leave nice comments for us, and we like to read them on the show. And here is one.
Daniel, Don't Stop by Lori Lou Who. Sounds like a Dr. Seuss name.
That's right.
I'm sure what was it? Peggy Sue? What were the Who? I'm sure that's a play on that.
Susie? I forget. I think it was Susie.
Okay. Obviously, that's what she's intending.
I suspect, but
right?
Look, we don't know.
Maybe not. Okay. I'm loving these quarantine shows with Alison and Daniel. I enjoy hearing...
Cindy Lou Who.
Cindy Lou Who. That's why it reminded me, because it's basically what she's doing. She's trying to remind me of it. I'm not clever.
That's right. You're not.
I'm loving these quarantine shows with Alison and Daniel. I enjoy hearing the rants. God bless you, Lori Lou Who. And most often agree and or totally understand. I'm so glad I don't have small kids. They wouldn't have survived this quarantine, LOL. Oh, jeez. Keep up the pods and miss Daniel on the Thursday shows. 100% on salsa thoughts, LOL. Yeah. I feel like there are more salsa options in the grocery store with the wide opening since I made that open letter to... I haven't heard from the salsa companies. No one has dignified...
Maybe they don't want to give you that. They're just going to quietly incorporate
and that's
your
fine.
advice.
You know what? That's fine. I don't need... My pride and my ego doesn't need the response as long as I
get the results.
Enact change.
Oh my God.
It's all about the change. It's not about me.
You're like one of those heroes that people learn about in school.
Yeah. But I'm the kind of hero you wouldn't hear about in school.
Right.
Because
you're not like one of the heroes.
Because I don't need my name to be in the school books.
No, but I feel like they'll be like what your history book didn't tell you, and that'll be about
No, what'll happen is in 50, 100 years, some scholar doing their PhD will write a paper about the impact that I had on things. You don't know about this guy, but he influenced all these different areas of American life.
Hanging sweaters.
The way Americans hang sweaters today can be traced directly back to this one guy on this podcast, or salsa, or
engaging your toes
while walking, standing, bending over.
These are all things that for which there's a quantz method.
Correct.
Wait, what's bending over?
Well, if you're bending over, okay, and you're picking something up, when you stand back up, if you like straighten yourself back up, if you engage the toes, then it's perfect. It's a perfect straightening move.
Oh, like how they say lift from the toes.
It literally it's all happening with your toes.
Also, you revolutionized the way we fall asleep.
Oh my God. This is one that has just changed my life.
Remind me what the quantz method for falling asleep is.
All right. So you get on your side. Then what you do is you need more pillow behind your head than in front of your head.
Mm-hmm. So don't bisect the pillow.
It's really important that you get the ratio right.
Like, should you be like
it's about a third to 2/3?
Got it.
And then what you do is you do sort of a quarter roll, like you kind of like as though you're going to go back on your back, but you only go a little bit of the way. You'll find a spot where it's comfortable.
You suspend yourself, kind of.
You'll find a spot where your body is just like not holding itself in that position. And it's like that suspended position. It's like it tricks your brain into then falling into dreamland.
Do you still do this every night?
Yes. I told the shareholders that I would tell them that I do it every night.
You don't.
I try. I do if I. Well,
your whole body tensed up when I asked. Your eyes got wide.
I often don't need extra help falling asleep. It's only really if you're kind of. My brain is going. This is just like a way of helping yourself sleep if you're having trouble.
Do you recall last night?
A little bit.
Because my memory is I had gone to bed, and then you came in to brush your teeth and like do your pre-bed stuff. Because I was like, "Oh, are you going to bed now?" And you said yes.
Blowing the trumpet.
Right, to let the townsfolk know it's bedtime.
No, that's what Ernie does with Bert. When Bert and Ernie are... Sorry, good. That's for my Sesame Street peeps up there.
I can't believe that you made a Sesame Street reference, but you thought I would know it.
You don't know? That's like a classic Ernie and Bert skit where Bert is sleeping and then Ernie decides he's going to practice his trumpet. And then Bert's like, stop playing the trumpet. He's like, oh, sorry. And then he starts playing the drums. and then it's like morning time and whatever. Anyway.
No, it sounds really good, though. I need to see it.
It's not as good as the banana in your ear.
What's that one?
Ernie's got a banana in his ear and Bert's like, Ernie, you got a banana in your ear. He's like, what, Bert? He's like, you got a banana in your ear. He's like, what? I can't hear you, Bert. I got a banana in my ear. But that goes on for like 3 or 4 times.
Anyway, so I was asleep. You came in. I'm like, oh, you're going to bed now? And you said, yes, I am. And then in the way, to me, it was like an hour and 45 minutes later, I was suddenly thrust out of bed with that awakeness that I get when something has woken me up that says, now's the time to go have a snack in the kitchen, even though you've been so controlled all day, which is my own problem. But did it take you an hour and 45 minutes to get into bed?
No.
How long would you say
Wait,
it
from
took?
when to when?
From when you went into the bathroom to brush your teeth.
No, not at all.
How long did it take you?
Like an hour 40.
No, really.
No, it didn't take me that long at all.
When did you notice when I left the bed?
You every night, and I try to be really, really sneaky, but you are the lightest sleeper who's ever slept. Like, I will like creep, and then I'll like get in the bed, and then it's always like this. It's always as soon as I like get comfortable, then it's like you shoot up out of bed at that point, and I don't know if it's Wendy moving around or what it is. Sometimes it's Wendy that wakes you up. But I always feel bad, but I try not to.
So what you're saying, but from that moment, again, this is a conversation we should be having privately. From the moment at which you went into the bathroom to get ready to the time that I sprung out of bed.
15 minutes. Max.
Really?
20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah,
It
not
felt
that
like
long.
so much longer.
No.
Because
It's that thing of when you're sort of asleep and you lose track of time, I think, is why.
But I feel like it was like 2:00 when I got out of bed.
Yeah, but I went in there at like 1:20 or so, or 1:30 or 1:40. Like,
Did everyone at home catch
I
that?
didn't look at the fucking time, officer. I'm just
I
saying,
think
like
it took you a long
it
time.
was late when I went in there. That's why I was 2.
So listen, not everyone loves our show as much as the person who loves you.
Yeah, give it to me.
Now-
this is the stuff. This is the good
This
stuff.
is someone. It is. This is a person who only ever
I
leaves
love the
negative
haters. I
comments.
love
This is a common hater.
But wait,
now,
I just
don't
wanna
like
say,
to hang. No, I'm saying something.
I'm saying now.
I don't like to encourage it, but listen, the negative comments are few and far between. So
I know, but I want to say I
congratulations.
complain about them, but really, I enjoy the haters.
Yeah, but we don't want to encourage haters.
No, I'm not encouraging you, but
We
at the
hate
same
you,
time, at the same
but
time,
sometimes it's entertaining.
it entertains me. Okay, this podcast is really awful. Yeah, I've seen this name before.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's maybe we have one hater. No, we have more.
Mr. R. Pederso. Yeah, because I've made fun of this
Yes.
name before.
I think it's Peterson.
Peter. Oh, yeah. Do we know who this person is at all? Is this
We
person?
don't.
Oh, okay. If you enjoy listening to Nimrods talking about termites, construction trash in their yard for a year, closet doors that don't fit, and toilet seats that move when you sit on them, you will love this show. Also, poop and bad smells are their go-to topic. This is high-class stuff. Really,
Hey, we talked about pee this time, so in your face.
this person listens to
Dutifully.
every episode. So what I would like to say to this person is, you clearly are one of these people who enjoys those things.
You love Nimrods.
Like, what is your problem? There is not one thing that I listen to that I hate voluntarily. Like, there are things that I have to watch because I have children that I do not like. But there is nothing I choose on my own precious fucking time to listen to or watch that I don't love.
Listen,
It's wild.
apple.co/Alison Rosen.
Wait, I want to
Just
say
search-
something
hang
to our
on.
Pederso.
Okay.
Seriously. I mean this sincerely, as one human being to another, with empathy. Maybe get some therapy. Like, there's something wrong that you're listening to a show that you hate this much. Why are you doing this?
Well, as long as you're telling your friends to listen, I say do your thing.
Okay, continue.
Please leave us a nice comment. Click 5 stars. Their favorite number. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Alison Rosen. Listen to my other podcast, Childish. Excuse me. Follow me on follow me is the wrong verb. Catch me on Patreon, patreon.com/Alison Rosen. You get behind the scenes content. You get videos. You get stuff that I cut out of the main show that I leave in the video. You can get a gander at that. And also, I'm on Cameo. And boy, I really think you get your money's worth. Unless you don't, but I think you do. So anyway, Daniel and I watched Unorthodox on Netflix. Have you guys seen it? It
So
is
good.
so good. My mom mentioned it a while ago, and she had said it's about a woman who's like escaping the Hasidic community. And I thought, that doesn't sound very good. And then I said, is it a documentary?
Although I was hooked. That premise,
I know.
I'm into that.
because you love anything cult or cult adjacent.
I am fascinated by religions generally, cults in particular. And I'm not saying every religion's a cult. I'm just saying it's a spectrum. And also, I had a good friend who became Lubavitch Hasid.
Can we talk, though, for a second about your love of cults? Because I recall when we were dating, and I had already realized you love this stuff.
Yeah.
We were watching something, and it was like a bunch of people in prairie dresses.
Is this going to be another story about how I told you something and you tuned me out or hated listening to it?
What was the first story about?
I don't know. Every now and then they'll be like, when we were first dating, you were trying to tell me this thing that you, and I was just like, oh my God, this is so boring.
I don't know. I don't recall having that feeling about you.
Okay. Go ahead.
I do know that there was this guy that I was dating once, and I was drinking a lot in these days. This was in New York. Did you know that I lived in New York and I drank a lot?
I've heard.
So anyway, we were laying on his bed talking. This was not a sexual moment. We were just hanging out on his bed talking. And I was drunk, and he told me something very personal. I think about like someone close to him dying. I think maybe a cousin or something. And I know that I was like, I fell asleep. And I was trying to hide it. And I was like, fuck. It's like I was reading a book and I was on page 20 and now I'm on page 46 and I don't know what happened and I can't tell him either. So anyway.
Okay, sorry. Please continue. I was telling you something about something cult related.
You were watching something that had like a bunch of people in prairie dresses like running around on a hill. And you were like, I know this sounds crazy, but like, doesn't that look kind of fun?
Wait, we were watching this together?
I think you had DVR'd it. Can I tell you, want to know what my assessment is and has always been of your love of your fascination with cults and communes and stuff like that? You had a very solitary childhood. And I think that something about this like prefab community with a lot of kids and a lot of people all as acting as one big family is appealing to you.
You're way off.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, because that part of it isn't interesting to me.
What is interesting?
The mind control part of it.
Oh.
I think it's because
straight to the heart of the darkness.
I grew up with a lot of let's just say intense personalities, and I think that I've always been fascinated by that, the way that people can influence other people and con them and manipulate them. And I think that the cult thing where you get somebody to totally change their life and leave behind everything is fascinating. I think a lot about how I don't want to get into it, but yes, I think that's way more interesting to me than the commune part of it. The commune part of it,
community part of it, seems
that's
to be
not interesting to me.
What has always appealed to you about it?
Not at all. Although I would say
you're wrong.
Well, I would say that I do think that communes, divorced from the idea of cult, are not a bad thing, and that we should strive to live more in communities where we are more interconnected and relying on one another. That would be healthy, right, for humanity. But the part where there's like a cult aspect to it, it's not appealing at all. It's a nightmare.
Did you have a fascination with the Von Trapp family? Did you memorize the order of the children and perhaps name your first turtle Liesel like I did?
No, I didn't even know anything about Sound of Music really until recently. I mean, I knew it. I knew some of the songs, but I'd never really watched it.
I don't think I'd ever seen the full thing until recently. I was reading on some mom message board that it's a really good movie for kids. Like, they really like it. And so I put it on, and I remember Elliot being very taken with it. But then, like, near the whole thing that happens near the end with that movie, I feel like it's a very long movie. I don't think I'd ever really seen it because it was as if I was seeing it for the first time. Whereas the beginning, like the first 2/3 of it, I was familiar with. Yeah. That's not the point of all this. The point is Unorthodox, and then I was like, my mom told me about it, and it didn't sound very interesting to me. And then I wondered, is it a documentary? And she said, no, it's not. And I thought, yeah, still not into it. And then Wendy mentioned it, not the dog, Wendy the human.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
It's not just mind control that I'm interested in. I'm interested in belief and belief systems. So I don't want to cast it all as negative. I'm interested in religion generally.
Yes.
Okay, continue.
I'm sorry. What appeals to you about the idea of a cult is all the friends you'd have.
Right. That's definitely right.
That's what it is.
Yes. No, it's all the friends.
That's what it is, because you would ride your bike as a little kid and your mom would be like, go out and make some friends.
Wait, are you serious? You really think that that's what appeals to me about it?
No.
Okay.
Yes, I have not that you want to belong to a cult, but like a documentary about a cult or anything like that. I think that there's a part of you that I've always suspected, not that you would ever be in a cult or that you want to be in a cult or that you like cults, but that something about that communal experience speaks to you.
It's so funny that that's how you think a cult is. Like, to me, a cult is a nightmare. Like, a cult is not like that.
But you showed me this thing that had all these people in prairie dresses running around a hillside, and you're like, isn't there something that looks kind of fun about that?
Right, probably that specific moment that we're looking at. Look,
well, I've based my entire understanding on that.
A cult to me is not like look at it's a big family and everyone loves each other.
No,
like you're putting
I know.
No, it's not. That's not how I see it. So that is not an appeal to me about it. There's no part of me that's like, oh man, I sure wish.
This raises an interesting question.
Just say this.
Who knows you better,
let me just say
you or
this.
me?
The idea of having a huge ass community like that is really stressful to me.
Well, you've changed your tune.
I wish I remembered what the heck it was that I was referring to.
I know.
Then. I might have just even been silly.
Polygamy, I think. Silly. The polygamous cults. That wasn't like a full-on
Well,
I guess
polygamy
is
on its
cults,
surface sounds fantastic until you've been married, and then it's like, why would I want to have this times 3? It's a nightmare. I don't know.
But anyway, we watched Unorthodox. I started watching it on my own because I thought you weren't interested in it. And then we watched it. It was
I had even told you I wanted to watch it.
Well,
weeks ago,
listen,
go ahead.
obviously I don't know you well and I don't listen when you talk. It was so good.
Really good.
It was like beautiful and poetic. It's based on something real or a real situation. However, it still felt like a work of art.
But also we just moved from a community that was basically
riddled with Hasids.
70%. It felt like 70% Hasids. I mean, it was very, very concentrated. And so, when you live inside the community like that, you think a lot about it. And so, and it's a very like private, they don't talk to you on the streets, it's like they live in their own world. They won't make eye contact with you. They won't talk to you. Occasionally, like walking the dog, like the men would say hi. Mm-hmm. Like they wouldn't, it's like not like nobody would say hi and they weren't totally, unfriendly. It's just that like the women wouldn't, and the children were often like not sure what to do. Mm-hmm. It was very strange.
I actually wondered, do they not like dogs? Because we've
None
always
of them
had
ever had dogs.
We've always had very stuffed animal looking dogs, and there was never any interest.
I bet there's something in the faith that says they can't have dogs or something, because none of them ever had them.
We might be wrong.
Well, it's not. I mean, there's a lot of rules. Like it's a faith that is all about a lot of rules.
I could just look that up.
So that they wouldn't have dogs is not wild. It's to think. I mean, it seems like it would be right.
Judaism and pets, question and answer. Oh, picture from Time Out. What Jewish tradition? Okay. This is no time for a pop-up ad. There is no Jewish prohibition against owning pets. Below are some common questions about Jews and pets. Is it true that Orthodox Jews don't have pets? And what's the origin of the perception that Judaism is averse to pets? Interesting. While there are no studies on Jewish pet ownership, anecdotal reports do suggest that pet ownership is less common among Orthodox Jews than among the general Jewish population. One possible explanation for this may be that Orthodox Jews on average have more children than do other Jews, leaving them with less time and money available to care for pets. Another factor may be the perception that pet ownership is frowned upon or will get in the way of ritual observance.
I was going to say...
Yeah, because what do they do
I was
going to
say, exactly, on Shabbos, it would be, what do you do with a pet? You couldn't pick up a leash, probably.
Right.
Like, you wouldn't be able to take care of your dog. Yeah, it's probably just a practical thing. That makes sense.
Let's see here. One other factor that has discouraged some Jews from owning dogs is an association with the Holocaust. Nathan Slifkin, an Orthodox rabbi who was written extensive. I feel like they want to say who has written extensively about Judaism and animals, has suggested that some European Jews have, quote, a hang-up about dogs, born of the Nazis' fondness for and use of the animals. I honestly did wonder if it might have a little something to do with that.
I bet it's more the practical thing.
Right.
Maybe in the Satmar community, it's closer to the Holocaust reason, since that community in particular was sort of founded by Holocaust survivors. But
right.
Yeah, it just makes more sense. Like, what do you do on... It would be impossible to have a dog.
Right.
Yeah, so, okay.
So anyway, I recommend everyone watch it. It was so good. I feel like it's going to win a bunch of awards. But also, unlike a lot of fairly dense programming where I feel like this is like really good and enriching and I can tell I'm watching something of quality, but fuck, it's not enjoyable to watch. It was like, for me, it was engrossing from the get-go.
Yeah.
I want to watch 100 more episodes of it. There was only 4.
Yeah.
There were only 4. Yeah, it was really, really, really well done. So anyway, it was based on this woman who wrote a book. Her name's Deborah Feldman. And so I was so curious about it afterwards that I listened to her on a podcast, and it was this Australian podcast, and the host was asking, how many people are there in the Satmar community? And she said, estimates are like 100,000 or something like that.
Wow.
And she said that she thinks that there are probably more, but she thinks that it's really hard to know because in that community, they are averse to being counted. And so they're not going to really see they're not going to really want to do a census. And also that it was really interesting that they are brought up to believe that everyone who's not a Jew is there to ultimately persecute them and to hate them. And it was just interesting, but now I'm on a tangent. But the thing about being afraid of being counted and not wanting to be registered and things like that, I have that. Not a Hasid, but
yeah, you won't let me do the census.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
You can go ahead and do the census.
Okay, thank you.
But
I was joking.
But there is a part of me that's like, is there any way that could be turned against it? I'm just saying, even though I didn't know I was Jewish until way past when I should have known, the fear isn't that kind of cultural fear is still inside me. I'm like, what's to be gained from doing the census? Now I know that you've explained what's to be gained, but I think that's my attitude.
Everyone do the census. Seriously.
But I'm just saying that's my attitude toward a lot of things. It's like, what good comes from your name being on that list?
Well, they already know.
No, I know. I'm not talking about whether to do the census or not. Obviously, do the census. Give your plug for the census, please.
Well, no, I wasn't going to do that. I was going to say
no, but do, because it's important from a civic standpoint.
I will, but they know you have a credit card. There's nothing that they can't know about you right now. You have a iPhone.
They?
The government, whoever. It's so easy to track people now. It's so easy to get all the information. This idea that now
somehow
if you were in an Orthodox community, that's different, but you're not. No, the census, you got to do it because that's how they proportion the districts. That if people don't do the census, then you're not going to have as many Congress people. You're not going to have the same representation, money, resources, things like that. So just do it. It's not going to be used for evil.
All right. You've made your census point.
Yeah, do it.
Well, I didn't have more to say about it than that, Daniel. All I want to say is, deep down, I guess I'm a Hasid.
No, I just think that the trauma, the way to understand the Satmar community in particular is...
And the Rosen family a little.
I'll get there. Is that this is a community forged by trauma. You know, it was founded by Holocaust survivors. So it's like you can understand a lot of it if you understand that. But in a general sense, like the world Jewish population has all been traumatized by the Holocaust. And so like some of the things you see more intensely in the Orthodox community, you still see it in other areas. So it makes perfect sense that, you know, I mean, it's perfectly logical for...
Like, I was raised to be paranoid.
Well, you know,
all the time.
When you say like, oh, they believe that everybody is... Well, the only reason they believe that is because that's been the truth throughout history.
Right.
Like they literally just can list all the times every single generation has been persecuted by people.
Yeah,
And
that's something that Deborah Feldman was saying in the interview, is that they see the Holocaust as just the latest example of this long history of persecution, as opposed to how we have come to see it, which is this like
singular
singular aberration.
And
right.
you see it now. I mean, you know, not to get into it, I'm not going to get into it, but like right now, if you look, there is a huge rising tide of anti-Semitism in this country. And, you know, we have to understand that this can have the same outcome. We have to be vigilant about it. And they're just at this point where they're like, we can't. It's interesting because they're both, and we'll get off the topic. They're both simultaneously, we believe that every non-Jewish community will eventually try to rise up and wipe us out. Okay, so we are going to live with that knowledge. At the same time, we are also going to live fully as Jews because we can't help that fact. No matter what we do, they're going to come after us, so we might as well be as into the faith and external about that and display that as possible.
They should go to my dad's TED Talk.
It's wild. So
he
it's
would be like, no, you just say you're not Jewish.
Yeah, so
just let it go.
Yeah, you just pretend you're not.
Just say you're not. What's the big?
And so there's like I think that they almost feel like they're holding on to their tradition because they have to like preserve the flame for future generations. And so while they might be miserable now, it's worth it because the fire will burn brighter in the future.
But the fire of what?
The traditions that they're carrying forward from their ancestors, the lineage that they have, the faith, the traditions, all that.
I guess. At the same time, they don't let women read. It's like a very, from our point of view, it's a very repressive faith. Yeah.
You know, and it's like it's problematic from where we sit, but like, and maybe even from where they sit. But like, I'm just saying that's the thinking there. I'm not here to judge it. I'm just saying like, they're not crazy. It's, you know,
they're not crazy about what? Feeling persecuted?
I think their attitude makes sense to me. I don't think that it's healthy. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like,
well, yeah, but you can also find that attitude in Israel. And that's not repressive in the same way. I think there's a couple things going on. I think on the one hand, there's the Jewish fear of and awareness of persecution, and on the other hand, there's this decision to be archaic and repressive, and the two don't go hand in hand.
How do you mean?
You can be modern and still be afraid of persecution or aware.
Well, they're not linked. They're
That's
not
what I'm
linked. Saying. Yeah, no.
Glad we're on the same page.
Yeah. They're not connected. They're just existing at the same time. That it's like it's funny to see that like on the one hand, they're going to get really, really into this Orthodox, ultra Orthodox interpretation of this religion, which means like the whole world can see you. You're like putting a big spotlight on you because you're living in a major city, living like this. At the same time, at center to your whole belief system is that the everybody's going to try to kill you. So it's like,
you mean like they're being so conspicuous in there?
They're being very conspicuous with a belief that would maybe lead you to think you should be inconspicuous.
Right.
It's like,
I see.
If you believe that everybody is out to kill you because you're like a green Martian, and then you are like, I'm going to be as green and as Martian-y as possible.
Right.
It's like, well, maybe instead put some, clothes on and try to blend in.
That's what my dad did.
But I think that they that to them is erasing.
Right.
So
they're anti-assimilation.
I look, I'm not here to be critical of anything. I just think it's interesting.
Also, I read that they're anti-Zionist, but I don't really know enough about what Zionist means. But that kind of surprised me. Does that mean anti the state of Israel?
So in the show, there is a character who's Israeli, and she doesn't seem to be religious, or at least she's definitely not Orthodox.
Who?
At the music school.
Oh, right, yeah.
And the way that the way that character sort of interacts with the main character who came from this Orthodox community, and like the tension there, I feel like I was telling you, I feel like it's in a language I don't know. Mm-hmm. There are things being communicated subtextually through that I don't get, because I don't know enough about the Israeli Jews and their relationship to the Orthodox Jews, and the Orthodox Jews' relationship to Israel. Like, I don't know any of that. I don't know what they're trying to say with it, but they're clearly trying to say something. And so when you say that, I just don't know enough about it.
It was interesting because I feel like I know a little more than you. Mm-hmm. But I also don't really know that much. You know who we need to
about Israel? I know more about the Hasids than you.
Yeah. You know who we need to parse this? Jackie Johnson, because she's converting. She can come over and let us know.
What if she converts to Lubavitch?
and her husband to be's like, you've gone too far.
Yeah, wait.
Reel it back in. Wait a minute. We should have talked about this ahead of time.
She got so into it that she wants to be Orthodox.
Listen, Daniel.
It's a beautiful religion, honey, except for all the stuff that isn't beautiful. Go ahead, sorry.
I want to commend you on this thing that you've done with your cup. You took to heart my asking you why you brought in a metal cup and a metal straw last time.
Let it be known, I take notes.
And so this time you have your cup of decaf on a plate with strips of fabric.
I have a metal saucer.
Yeah.
Because I'm fancy, and I have a saucer for my it's like a cappuccino cup. And so I put felt on that. So listen.
I don't hear anything.
There's no clank.
Don't hear nothing.
That's right.
And I just want to leave you guys with this. I wish I could remember what it was that Elliot was going to eat, but I asked if he liked it, and he said, yes, it's very good to crunch and munch. It's like he's being raised by commercials.
Yeah. Don Draper.
Right. It's toasted. Listen, is there anything else you need to tell us?
We don't have any more voicemails?
Oh, yeah, we do.
Jesus. Do I have to produce this show now?
Do you want to?
No.
Okay.
Hey, Alison. Hey, Daniel. Hey, I just want to give you guys a call and say thanks for all the content because, it's obviously really depressing times right now. I live down in South Australia, and I guess it's been weird because the numbers for COVID are pretty good down here, and things have been pretty bad back in the U.S. where all my family is. So, but I guess I just want to say for all the listeners who have been chiming in, saying, hang in there. It's going to be fine. We just got to pull through it. But I feel like down here we're kind of living post-COVID a little bit. It still comes up, but we're not in that paranoia and fear like we were. Then when I talk to people back in the U.S., it's like they're just right in the thick of it. So I don't know. I guess I just want to say, hey, look, it's possible to get through it, and we will. And all these different little new issues we're going to overcome, and we'll get through it. So I don't know. Just want to say thank you, and just want to say thanks to all your listeners. And hope you guys are getting through. And I think Daniel should wear that lemon shirt a little more often. I got to say, when someone said, "Is Daniel hot?" I thought, "Is he hot because he's wearing a lemon shirt?" Well, maybe the lemons can step up a little bit of hotness for all of us. I don't know. Maybe we'll all start wearing lemon shirts. Anyway, thanks, guys. Bye.
I mean, the world would be a better place if everyone was wearing lemon shirts.
It really would.
I mean, just imagine it.
I love it.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for your nice comment. Thank you for your nice voicemail. I love the idea that we could get to a post-COVID world, but we're struggling here right now.
Perhaps you've been in Australia too long.
People here are too obstinate and dumb. Maybe that's not fair.
I don't know that I understand where that's coming from.
Okay.
That statement. And I would say that I have felt that way too. But this, to me, falls on leadership.
Well, our leadership's obstinate and dumb too.
Yes, but people have been given mixed messages. This thing where they were like, everyone needs to stay inside for 3 months, and then they did nothing. Well, people saw that nothing was happening, and they realized, like,
what do you mean did nothing?
Where's the tracing and the all the things that other countries did in order to bring their numbers down? We didn't do any of it. So then you go, well, everyone's sitting there going, like, they're not doing anything. Eventually, we're going to have to leave. Months go by, like, you can't be surprised that people are just fed up or whatever. They have to earn a living. It's just this falls 100% on leadership to me. I try not to get angry at people.
Even the people who refuse to wear masks because they think it's control?
I get frustrated with those people. Yes, I do. But like someone I heard pointed this out to me, and it sort of changed my thinking on it, which was, imagine if Donald Trump said, you all have to wear masks, not because there's a pandemic, but because like some reason that you don't think is important. Like, because, I don't know, some hooky reason.
Hooky?
Yeah, hooky. I just made that up.
Wow.
Hokey.
Okay. For hokey.
Hooky's how they say it in Australia. I was
For
trying to be
hooky
in the
reason.
spirit of the call. You'd be like, what the fuck? I have to. And they'd be like, and if you don't wear it outside, then, you're not going to be able to do your grocery shopping. Mm-hmm. And you're like, but there's no issue. This is just government forcing me. You'd be furious, but it's like,
and that's, but yes,
they don't believe that it's a problem.
Yeah, because
it's
dumb.
government, and it's government forcing them to do something. It would.
Yes, I know. No. I get why anti-vaxxers don't want to have vaccines. I'm just saying.
But if Obama and the people you trust were telling you that it wasn't a problem.
Oh, I see.
It was the other side. And it was the other side. It was Trump and Fox News and all them that were telling you it was a problem. You'd be like, fuck you. No way. I'm not putting on a mask.
You mean to say the people that they trust and believe in have told them it's not a problem, so they think it's like the left.
Yes.
I see.
So they see it as the left.
I understand what you're saying.
So it's like,
so that's why you blame leadership for making them think that it wasn't a problem.
Yes.
Right.
Because
that makes sense.
Because obviously we have the most incompetent leadership we've ever seen in this country, and they have reasons or whatever. I don't get into it. It's all obvious to everybody but it's just unfortunate. I can't blame the people is what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to get too hard on people.
I know. I am frustrated and a little bit broken like everyone else by this whole situation. So therefore, I have some anger.
Well, that's fine.
And also, I feel like, fuck, it doesn't have to be like this. Can people just get their shit together?
But the current spread of COVID is not because individuals didn't wear masks. That played a role.
Yeah, I know. Because we opened up too fast, right?
Because we didn't I'm blanking on the term, but it's like the tracing, contact tracing, and we didn't do we didn't beef up the tests, and we didn't do all the things that other countries did that no individual has the power to do.
But we also opened up way too fast in areas.
Yeah, and they opened up too fast.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like all those things are not individual choices. Those are leadership choices.
Is there anything fun that we can end on? Because this wasn't.
I got something.
Okay.
So to end the show on something lighthearted, we can talk about our son Elliot.
Okay.
And something I've thought about. He does this thing where he started doing it like about a month ago, I think, maybe, and he started tapering off. He doesn't do it quite as much, which is he goes yeah when he's happy. And you'll ask him questions, and instead of or even if you're not asking him questions, he'll just say yeah.
He'll kind of come up for a hug and then go yeah.
He'll go yeah. And I was thinking, like, his childhood so far has been, I think, really good. At least, from where I sit. And he has no reason to. There's no like real negative experiences, real. So I feel like he's in a state of just kind of general happiness. He gets frustrated, whatever, but like, and I think that elicits this yeah. And it's like, I want to get to that yeah state of mind. I want to
do it.
But I also want to preserve his yeah state of mind. Like, that's my goal, is to keep it. Like, if you're looking at his, where he's at as like being a readout on a machine, and it's like it's got the green over here and then the red. Maybe it's like yellow, green, red. It's green in the middle. That's I want to keep him in, right? It's like, I want to make sure that from a parenting point of view, I'm always keeping him in the state of mind, like not to push him into red,
right?
Or drop him down into yellow or whatever. It's
when he is like about to get something he's excited about, whether it's like a piece of fruit or a toy, and it's like, I'm so excited, Daddy, I'm so excited. Is that when he's in the red?
No, that's not red. That's green. Like, that's joy. That's the other thing. With little kids, everything is so pure that
and on the surface,
it's just, there's no faking anything really. So when they're like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited," it's just like they really are. They're so excited. Like, you don't see that in adults. You don't see adults go, "Wow, I'm
so excited!
I'm so excited! Oh my God!" And it's just like I complain about stuff with parenting, but I love that. It's nice to be around creatures that are so pure. He'll become a little asshole when he becomes a teenager, I'm sure, but
maybe not.
Is there ever been a good teenager?
I was a great teenager.
I'm sure you weren't.
If you want to call the show, did I already give the number?
Give it again.
Yeah, in case you tuned in at the end. 323-553-2331. Again, that's 323-553-2331. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.
What does that spell? Is it like 323?
It's like
Babuba?
I think it's friend or something.
Does it really?
Yeah,
you should find out, because.
Well, I know because I chose it.
But also people will remember it.
Yeah, I guess it'd be okay. Hang on.
If it's 323 friend, why are you not?
It's not just friend. Okay, so 3. You know what? On the next episode, I will let you know. It's a tease.
I'm sure they could let us know.
Daniel, where can we find you?
You can follow me at Twitter and Instagram. And I thought I'd set up a Twitch page, but had not, because I'm an old man who doesn't know how to use new technologies. So thank you to people who have reminded me to that I promised this and didn't deliver. But this week, I swear I'm going to do it. So I will watch my Twitter, and I will tweet out my Twitch. Did I say Twitch or did I say Twitter? Twitch.
I think it's a Twitch.
Yeah, I'll say, I'm playing Far Cry 5. And maybe I'll play that. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just chat with you.
It's this. It's 323-553-BFF1.
That's good.
It's not as good as it sounded like it was going to be. 323-553-BFF1.
Yeah, it's not.
Like the
not
best
the
I
best.
could do.
Okay, well,
I won't give it out from now on.
but call. I like your voicemails.
Daniel, are you done?
Oh, what else do I have to promote? Nothing.
You guys, we love you. Thank you so much for listening. I love you. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen show? We had a good time